to a special edition of Eye on Paulsboro. We are at the Port of Paulsboro inside the EEW steel facility where monopiles are being assembled that will eventually work their way out to the Atlantic Ocean. Today's a special occasion in the fact that the governor visits to sign an important piece of legislation that's actually the final piece for wind development offshore in New Jersey. Very, very important. It moves the federal tax credits that are supplied by the Biden administration to each state to encourage them to develop wind energy. In this case, it's offshore wind. So we're going to go right to the press conference. It's self-explanatory. Got an interview afterwards with Lee, who is the CEO of EEW Steel, and a little catch-up interview with the mayor of Paulsboro. Irma's not with us for this show, but the next show we'll be back with the full community notes, as well as Amy and Fred are putting together wonderful footage from a wonderfully successful 4th of July parade. So stay with us, enjoy the press conference and the governor's remarks. Pretty good day for Paulsboro, pretty good day for the region, by the way, and a little glimpse into the future of what things are going to look like.
My name is Magdalena Martinez. I'm from Vineland, and I am an apprentice with the Eastern Atlantic States Regional Council of Carpenters, Local Union 255. Thank you. My journey to the Carpenters Union was through my union's Carpenters Apprentice Ready program, or CARP, which I started in January of this year as a pre-apprentice. I have always known that I wanted to work with my hands, and an office job just wasn't for me. That is why I became an apprentice, and became a pre-apprentice, and am now a first-year apprentice who is able to earn as I learn. In New Jersey, the union way of life is something to strive towards. Union workers cannot do that, though, without opportunity. Governor Murphy is providing that opportunity by promoting and cultivating a new offshore wind industry. This new energy industry will provide good-paying jobs for union workers and help expand our energy production right here in New Jersey. My union has invested in preparing New Jersey's workforce for this moment, expanding the Thomas C. Ober Training Center in Hamilton, New Jersey for heavy construction, pile driving, and offshore wind training, and opening the first union commercial dive center in the country right here in South Jersey. There is a bright future ahead for carpenters like me because of the investments being made by the union and the state of New Jersey. I am honored to introduce Governor Phil Murphy and thank him personally for all he is doing to provide opportunity for union workers like me. Governor Murphy.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Is it me or do you feel really small? I want to thank Maggie for your very generous introduction and for all the great work that you and your fellow carpenters and other union brothers and sisters are doing. So let's hear it one more time for Maggie. Thank you all for joining us. We're here today to sign not one, not two, but three major laws that will provide a significant and long-lasting boost to our 21st century economy. At the risk of sounding a bit boastful, this is a monumental day for our state because we are creating the jobs of the future right now. Before I get into the specifics, I want to thank our hosts, EEW, and all the managers and workers doing such incredible work here. I want to thank Gloucester County Commissioner Director Frank DeMarco, Paulsboro Mayor Gary Stevenson, Paulsboro Council President John Giovannitti, and all of our esteemed local officials. I also have to give a huge shout out to our partners in the legislature, led today by Senator Bob Smith on the Senate side, on the Assembly side, Raj Mukherjee, Paul Moriarty, my cousin Carol Murphy, as I mentioned, Ileana Pintor-Marin, who I can't find. I know Lou Greenwald, majority. Where is she? Oh, she's up here. I apologize. Sorry about that. Budget chair, I might add, Ileana Pintor-Marin, Majority Leader Lou Greenwald, I know, is going to join us, and I thank all of them, not just for their presence today, but the fact that they understood how important these bills were to the future of our state, and they helped get it over the finish line. I also want to give, I shook their hand a minute ago, a particular shout out to two longtime friends and big advocates and leaders in this space and in so many. Please help me welcome former Senate President Steve Sweeney and former Assemblyman John Bersicelli. Let me be unequivocal about these two guys. They championed offshore wind from the very beginning, including long before I got here. They saw early on the jobs potential for this district in Gloucester County and South Jersey more broadly. And they helped make sure that we kept this plant open. Throughout this journey, they have been invaluable partners, and I cannot thank them enough. And I can say unequivocally, without Steve and John's support and help, we would not be here today without them. Amen. Now, in terms of the three pieces of legislation we're signing today, the first bill is absolutely critical to moving our entire offshore wind industry forward and cementing our leadership in this new industry. Pandemic, supply chain disruptions, the war in Ukraine, inflation, among other things, have caused major economic headaches and raised the costs for offshore wind projects, not just in New Jersey, but on the entire East Coast, and I think you could say this unequivocally, around the world. This bill enables New Jersey's first offshore wind project, Ocean Wind 1, to move forward by tapping into federal tax credits specifically designated to help the offshore wind industry. And this bill will also trigger an additional $200 million of private sector investment in manufacturing facilities in our state. Folks, I cannot emphasize this enough. We have a once-in-a-generation opportunity right now to bring tens of thousands of overwhelmingly union jobs and billions of dollars of investment to our state with offshore wind. Just look at around us and you see the scale of these monopiles completed, by the way, the first ones completed on U.S. soil. I underscore, the first ones completed on U.S. soil. And that happened, all of that happened right here in Paulsboro at this facility. Consider for a moment the size and scale of these entities, which serve as the foundation for offshore wind turbines. A tremendous amount of skilled labor has to go into each one, and that means jobs, good paying union jobs. With facilities, amen. With facilities like this in our wind port in Salem County, New Jersey is literally building the foundation for our nation's entire wind industry. And this bill will allow these projects to expand and create even more jobs. Together, these bills put New Jersey on the forefront of the 21st century economy and create a steady pipeline of good jobs and opportunities well into the future. But perhaps more importantly, they help build an economy that works for all of us. That is at the heart of our nation's promise, where everyone has the chance to achieve their dreams through hard work. And that, too, is at the heart of our administration's agenda. And that is what we mean when we say we are building a stronger and fairer New Jersey. The unfortunate reality is that the American dream has gotten further away for too many people. And that is not the future that any of us want for our children. So we are committed to creating more pathways to opportunity. And that is exactly what these bills do. That is why we are signing a bill today that helps ensure we invest in all of our neighborhoods, because we know opportunity has not always been open to everyone, especially in our communities of color. That is why we're signing an offshore wind bill today that helps build our clean energy economy to both create jobs and fight climate change so our children can actually enjoy their future. And that is why all of the bills we're signing today will not only create jobs, overwhelmingly, again, union jobs, That is a major part of this. There is no future for New Jersey without our unions. As we build out new industries, we've made sure that unions play a key role because unions offer a path to the middle class and provide safety protections and benefits. We want quality, sustainable growth that actually benefits workers for generations to come. That is how strong economies are built, from the bottom up and the middle out, not from whatever trickles down from the top. So all of this is part of our plan to build the next New Jersey, where everyone can find their place, where every worker can see their hard work pay off, and where every family can afford their American dream. That is the next New Jersey. And today we are boldly stepping into that future and taking everyone with us. Again, we are tremendously thankful to our partners in the legislature who share our values and vision and help make this happen.
For everything, there's a season, and a time for everything under heaven. A time for sharing, a time for caring, a time for remembering, and a time for parting. When that time arrives, let Beth McBride Foley and Thomas D. Foley at the McBride Foley Funeral Home help you in your time of need. Offering a wide variety of funeral services from cremation to traditional, McBride Foley Funeral Home has been helping families with the loss of a loved one with over 50 years of combined service. McBride Foley Funeral Home, 228 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
Multi-policy discount, paperless discount, paid in full discount, homeowners discount, safe driver discount, chipmunk family reunion, someone stole the nuts, squirrel jail, justice.
Countless discounts. Now that's progressive. Call or click today.
You know, I started in 1987 in my apprenticeship for the electrical union. And, you know, I was fortunate enough to see a lot of changes and a lot of things, you know, transpire along the waterfront here. And, you know, Steve Sweeney, who was here before me, one of my counterparts, Richard, I don't want to miss anybody here, but we saw so many changes along this waterfront, all the way from Camden all the way to Carney's Point. And, you know, over the years, when I first started, there was a lot of refinery work and a lot of chemical plants, and it kept us busy. When the retail, when the casinos weren't going, these facilities kept us going, and then they kind of went dormant. So, you know, when you've been around, and I hate to say it, I used to always be the young guy. Now it seems like I'm getting a little older. When this started coming back and we saw this facility start growing, and with all the help from the people of the Gloucester County and all, it really revitalized everything. And you saw what was just an overgrown place become something that's massive like this. So, you know, it really hits your heart when you see this happening, and it affects so many people, and as the governor said, union people, union women and men of South Jersey. So it's so great to see this happening. The other thing this legislation will create is long-term jobs for the local region, which turn into an economic stimulus for the surrounding communities, which is so important. This is what happens when the public and private sector get together to ensure the economy moves in the right direction. The signing today of this legislation signals the commitment that Governor Murphy and his administration has for a greener economy for future generations. So it's unbelievable. Just take a look at the things we're building here. I thank everybody that's involved. Keep up the good work, and let's all keep working together. Thank you.
He's South Jersey's own. He's probably the guy in this, other than my wife, in this big structure that I've known the longest in the state of New Jersey. Please help me welcome Majority Leader Lou Greenwald.
Thank you, everyone. Really honored that the governor took time to come here today. We're very fortunate to have somebody who understands the importance and the value of South Jersey and what it means to our overall state economy. We do a lot of these press conferences all over the state. I can tell you, we don't get this kind of turnout for many of them. And I think it's a sign and a symbol of how important this is and what jobs mean for real people. So if you want to have more of these press conferences in South Jersey, we'll get even bigger crowds, but we appreciate you being here. You know, the governor's going to sign today the law on the wind and the development of wind offshore for New Jersey. And I miss a lot of things about my friend Steve Sweeney being in the state legislature. But last week it was like old times for us, because one of the things I miss working with Steve on is strategy and how we get to yes. And that's something that South Jersey, we have always been of the mindset of, we can identify a problem, but we're not going to walk away until we get to yes. It doesn't have to be our idea, it doesn't have to be your idea, but together we have to solve that problem. And last week, you know, Steve's commitment to public policy and to the betterment of New Jersey, Steve didn't have to work the phones last week with me to help get this done. And everybody in this room should know that this issue, while we think it has tremendous benefits that I'll talk about in a minute, would not have gotten done without Steve getting on the phone and making those phone calls. So Steve, thank you very much for this. I appreciate it. And for our colleagues, Senator Smith, my friend Raj Mukherjee, and Eliana Pittner-Marin, for you guys to travel to South Jersey. I know I've been up and down the state, Steve and I, John Brizzacelli and I have been up and down the state. I mean this sincerely. It means a lot to us that you would take the time to be here today, so thank you. So this legislation means a lot, folks. It means minimum 1,500 jobs in New Jersey. It means hundreds of millions of dollars in economic production and revenue, over 200 New Jersey companies, small businesses that will interact with this. This location, this port becomes the national hub for the East Coast to provide not just for New Jersey, but for wind energy over multiple states up and down the East Coast. If this did not happen, wind would have been developed anyway. It just wouldn't have been here in New Jersey, and it wouldn't have been New Jersey jobs. And for those of you who understand that jobs equate to dignity and respect, these are real jobs for real families with real dreams. And that's what Governor Murphy and this administration have been about, and we are very proud to be a part of that. And I will tell you, there's lots of propaganda that's out there about it. But climate change is for real. When I started my career 28 years ago, a lot of people were still climate deniers. They don't deny it anymore, but they're not willing to take the very difficult and necessary steps to attack it. This is not in and of itself one solution, but it is a piece of the puzzle. And everybody has a responsibility and an obligation to do their part. This is a piece of the puzzle for us to turn the tide, not for us, not for necessarily our children's generation, but certainly for our grandchildren's generation. So thank you for being here. We very much appreciate it. And Governor, thank you for making this a reality. Thank you very much.
Lou, so well said. And the point to underscore, this is going to happen. The only question is, what state was it going to happen in? And thank God it's going to happen in New Jersey. Last but not least, Newark's own, again, I mentioned her earlier as the budget chair. This tragedy up north hits close to the bone to her. She's an outstanding leader. Please help me welcome Assemblywoman Eliana Pintor-Marin.
I really wanted to say that I'm so thankful to see you, Senator Sweeney. I miss you, but my heart is always with Assemblyman Brizzacelli, because, you know, when you talk about the differences in caucuses, right, or delegations, South Jersey, North Jersey, Middlesex, all of that, you know, there's rare times that in the legislature you find real allies, but more so real friends. And at the end, I always knew where John was going to be. He knew where I was going to be, but it never overtook or overpowered our friendship and things that we needed to do together. So, John, I miss you tremendously. I know you're trying to go to the House of the Lords, I mean the Senate, but we always have a spot for you in the Assembly. And it wasn't until I got into the legislature that I really had an opportunity to go down south and see what the real South Jersey was, because growing up in Newark, South Jersey is like the shore. That's as far as you would go. But, you know, to be able to go to Salem, to take a look at, you know, how important nuclear power plant is to Salem County, how important it is to Paulsboro to have this port functioning and working. It's those opportunities that I think all of us that are in the legislature are granted, and it's those that are not forgotten.
On a much happier note, we just signed 3 blockbuster bills here that are going to transform our economy, create thousands of jobs. offshore wind, film and television, and then just generally developing communities and affordable housing. It is among the biggest days that we've had since I've been in office, and it will literally lay the foundation for the economy of the future here in this state. Either we get this bill done and the industry thrives here and the jobs that are associated with it, or it goes somewhere else. We're open-minded, absolutely open-minded. We want to make sure, first and foremost, taxpayers get a good deal, the jobs are created, that the corporates do what they say they're going to do, but are we open-minded to trying to figure out some common ground with the other offshore sequences? Absolutely. So on the marine mammals, we take that very seriously, and we continue to. And the feds are taking the lead on this, and they're experts at this, and there's no proven cause and effect from this industry's activities in those deaths. And we'll continue to take that seriously. There are a whole other group of folks over the past 6 to 9 months who have suddenly become supporters of whales. But they're actually in this for other reasons. And I would say to them, let's all be honest with each other. We are very responsive, not just to the concern about whales, to the sightline issues, commercial fishing, recreational fishing, commercial vessel lanes. We want to, I think from the beginning, we've been very good partners with folks who have concerns. But there are a lot of other interests, including fossil fuel interests, that have found their way onto this opposition bandwagon. And the fact of the matter is, let's all be honest with each other. This is game-changing. Climate change is real, period. This is going to deal with that. It's going to deliver clean energy and fire up millions of households. It'll create thousands of union jobs. It's a particular game changer for South Jersey, which is why we're here in Paulsboro.
Rizzo Family Chiropractic Center in Gibbstown offers pain relief with a difference. Using specific chiropractic adjustments, Rizzo Family Chiropractic will get to the root of your problem quickly. Bring your headaches, neck, back, joint, or limb pain to Dr. Karen Rizzo. If you have recurring pain, chiropractic can help. Rizzo Family Chiropractic can relieve many sources of pain without extended treatment and ongoing therapy. Give your family the gift of caring professional pain relief with a difference. Rizzo Family Chiropractic.
Come on down Route 55 to the Millville Airport. Visit Smith & Jackson Military Antiques and Firearms, a gun shop with a woman's touch. Buying, selling, and trading firearms and military items, especially seeking World War II, German, Japanese, and American items. Buying single items or entire collections. That's Smith & Jackson Military Antiques and Firearms at the Millville Airport, 21 Peterson Street, next to the Glasstown Brewing Company.
And welcome back. We're slowly getting the show back in sync. This is a special occasion because we're here on site at the Paulsboro Port at the EEW facility. This is a place where monopiles are being built. Now, if you've driven by the port, you can see them from outside the fence. But we thought it's been a long time since we visited. And frankly, the first time we visited here since they're in operation. With me now is Lee. Lee, say your last name.
Lorendo.
You think I could easily pronounce that. I almost forgot that. He's CEO of EEW Steel, which is a German-based company, but this is the American side of the operation. Now, what you're seeing behind us, and I'm going to let Lee talk about it more, but these are going to get welded together. Lee, why don't you pick it up from there? What are these?
Yeah, so what we're doing inside the factory is welding together these circular rings to make monopiles. So what's a monopile? That's the foundation that goes into the sand that the wind tower gets bolted onto to go up from there. So they can be 1,000 feet high. So everything that we build is mostly underwater. They get driven into the ocean floor about 100 feet to secure them from coming loose over time.
And I look at this. What's the circumference? Give people a sense of the dimensions.
Yeah, so what we're looking at here, 30 feet in diameter. The length is about a football field. They can be longer. They can be up to 400 feet long. And the ones you're looking at behind us weigh 3 million pounds of steel.
Now, to give people a sense of this, because when you drive by, as I said, you'll see sections. So the steps presently taking place here, these have to be welded together, correct? And then
that's correct. So currently we're still supported by our German factory. So they'll do the roll bending to make the steel round and ship it over to us. We then weld together the pieces and do the coating here in the U.S. So this is our training wheels, if you want, for manufacturing. The next phase is to build these start to finish with steel plate that we would source in America. and that's going to increase our jobs and production significantly. So that's the investment of additional $350 million here at Paulsboro, and we're looking to be north of 1,000 manufacturing jobs here when we're finished.
Well, because you will, these monopiles will be used for developments other than the original field that Ørsted's developing.
That's correct. What we're building now is for Ørsted's first field, which is off of Atlantic City. The next project is going to be for Atlantic Shores, which is going to be off of Long Beach Island. That's about 100 wind towers that will go up. And after that, we are quoting monopiles to all the developers up and down the East Coast. So from Massachusetts to Virginia, everybody's interested in having them built here. We're the only plant in the United States, and hopefully we stay that way for a while.
That's going to get to the next point, because the governor's here today signing a very important piece of legislation that underpins the development of the wind industry by moving federal tax credits from the Biden administration's infrastructure program onto the offshore wind developer, making the project more viable and able to work. So my next question was going to be after that first phase is built, you answered part of it, there's more work to come. Where is your competition on these monopiles? Because most of these states are insisting on American source materials. So what's on the horizon competition-wise, or do you see a free field for a long time coming?
I think we see a free field for a long time coming, mostly because the forethought of the investment at the Port of Paulsboro put this way ahead of any other port in the United States. The 10 years worth of work to clean up the infrastructure and to make this a blank canvas for this manufacturing facility really put us way ahead of any other port. So they're looking at other ports maybe in Baltimore, but the environmental cleanup and the investment in infrastructure and wharfs really prohibit them from coming online anytime soon. They're probably if they do come online, it'll be in the 5 to 10 year range.
Now, before you leave us, give people just a general sense. You see these are sections behind us that are going to be welded. So how does this almost football field length, essentially pipe, monopile, 30 feet in diameter, go from here out to the wharf and then from there?
Well, maybe you can get a picture later, but they drive on the multi-wheeled vehicles, and they always stay horizontal during the entire process up until they're installed. So we literally drive them onto a barge, and we lower the wheels down and back off, and then that goes out to sea on a barge. The big install vessels that are massive ships will crane them up, stand them vertical, and then drive them hydraulically into the ocean floor.
It's really amazing technology. And so as these things go and as this industry comes to life, there'll be a piece of Paulsboro planted all through the Atlantic Ocean. And Lee, how long can something like this stay underwater? I mean, it's never.
Their useful life is, for the entire wind towers, 30 years. They can always repower it, so this isn't going to rust anytime soon. You probably get 100 years out of these.
Really?
Yeah.
You can't keep the Walt Whitman Bridge painted that long. It's pretty impressive. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Thinking about a new appliance or an LCD TV? Don't think twice. Think Weiss. Weiss True Value has a full line of LCD TVs plus a great variety of appliances. And of course, hardware items like True Test paints, Master Mechanic tools, electrical supplies, key duplicating, and Rug Doctor rentals. And for repairs on screens and windows, look no further. Weiss True Value, from making keys to selling appliances and LCD TVs. Don't think twice. Think Weiss. 39 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
Welcome back. Very, very happy to visit with Paulsboro Mayor Gary Stevenson. And Gary, of course, is finishing up his second term and will not be seeking re-election. So now he puts pieces on some of his legacy accomplishments. And by the way, they're very significant. But today we join you with him because we all sat, listened to the governor speak, and put the final touches on what's going to cause this Paulsboro facility, EEW Steel, 4 more buildings coming to put the entire manufacturing facility here. And that is a chance for great longevity. So, Gary, it's a pretty good day.
What a great day to have the governor here. You and Steve honored greatly. Always heard the story how this all started in a luncheon at Nino's. But seriously, everything he brought to the table today has to do with Paulsboro, the film industry. Obviously, it's you. Look, today they're having lunches and all at the firehouse, and we're getting a lot of money, which can buy life-saving equipment and all that. And they also help local businesses. To aspire to home ownership, we're tearing down houses, acquiring lots to build houses, so the people that can work here, the third piece of the puzzle, they don't have to go far. And we got all these jobs here, and Paulsboro people need to come out and get the jobs. Hey, you're going to get preference, and everything was a triangle today, connected with each other, and it's a great day for Paulsboro. Great to have the governor here. He's always good.
Yeah, and the governor, I find he's always been very sincere in having an interest of a place like Paulsboro, because, often over time we're overlooked, but now we have this great resource of a deepwater port and a port designed to handle this weight. Only place in America at the moment that can handle this.
Yeah.
So every once in a while, maybe it's time we got lucky.
And John, I remember you said, "Hey Gary, the governor's going to call you on my cell phone." He's called me multiple times to say, "How you doing? How's your town doing?" I can call him anytime on his cell phone. He is great for our town, just like you, just like Senator Sweeney was. We certainly miss you folks, but yeah, this is just what Paulsboro needs. And look, this place isn't going anywhere soon. I'm getting calls about being a whale killer and I should close this place down. Not happening, folks. So this is just an awesome day for Paulsboro with everything that was signed here today.
That's a good day, Gary. We will have more of an in-depth visit with the mayor as he wraps up his term, going over some details. But he's going to have a couple major announcements coming up in September, which we'll be covering. So stay with us. Hope you enjoy the show. Now, by the way, this program is a little different. Irma's not with us on Community Notes because we were just doing the bill signing. Grabbed the mayor and grabbed Lee so we could tie this together. So next show coming, Irma will be back with Community Notes. Till then, see you on Broad Street.